Let's ask Mad Money's Jim Cramer. He is with me right now. Jim, it's always good to have you. I feel like the market did a little rope-a-dope at the end here. What's this about?
It did feel like flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee market. I have to tell you, this is an otherworldly market. And you know what, Scott? It actually would have been better had it been down. Because I think people just think that the phoniness of the market, the inability of the market to make any sense versus what's going on in the economy, it has just made it so that people say, you know what, I don't want to be in it. And that is really a shame, but that's because we have not choked off inflation. And until we win some battles in inflation, you're going to continue to see people get attracted by a market that's down. An expiration can be big, but there's like very few players because people just hate this market. And I think that's a shame, Scott, because you and I both know that there are a lot of companies that are selling at 4, 5, 6, 7 times earnings, whose earnings will not be cut in half. And so, you have to look for bargains, but when you look for them, you immediately get crushed. And then at the end of the day, you feel great. But most people aren't even sticking around anymore.
Yeah. Does this give you any indication, Jim, gut feel, whatever, from the many decades you've looked at these markets, what this is? Is this anything more than just expiration of puts? Market, gets a nice bump into the close. Is it anything to build on in your mind about finding a real bottom?
Well, look, I tell you, I'm using some of the work of the great market historian Larry Williams tonight, and there are these 75-day cycles, and this was supposed to be the actual bottom of this cycle, of the 75-day cycle. The advanced decline this week was actually much better than the stock market was, and that has historically been an amazing thing to see. Many more advances and declines, yet the market was down. And I also was actually quite heartened about the fact that there are sectors of this market that are okay. They're okay. So you can be not high, but actually be in defense. You can actually be in healthcare. You can actually be in domestics. And I think that today was one of those days where you actually saw that people were saying, you know what, enough of the selling in the software stocks. Let's just go in and start buying some of them. I know you have Dan Ives later on the show. There are stocks that are so that are hurting people so badly, like Apple, that people just want to turn you and I off. And I think that's a shame because in the end, maybe Apple goes down another 15, but I think it could be up another 100 over the next 5 years. So,
wow.
I really do. Over 5 years, though. Remember, that's not that great a return.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you caught this discussion today between Sarah and John Duskin from Macellum on Kohl's.
Yep.
At one point, she said, "Why don't you sell it?" And that was a great interchange because that's how I think people feel about a lot of stocks. It's like, look, if you're not happy with it, just sell it. And it used to be in the old days, if you're not happy with it, let's go in there and get them. And you know that because you're from that world and you know people. But the question that she asked him, which is, why don't you just throw in the towel? Scott, I bet you that a lot of the guys that you talk to who are really aggressive feel like just say, you know what, the heck with it. Just throw it in the towel.